The Kremlin has warned that Russian President Vladimir Putin will react against Western nations involved in the war in Ukraine. Ivor Bennett has the details.
We've just been hearing from Russia's president again following his televised address last night. He's just been speaking with military leaders, and he's been speaking more about this new hypersonic ballistic missile that Stuart was referencing, that was used for the first time on the battlefield yesterday in the city of Dnipro. He said Russia will continue to test this missile in combat conditions. He said a decision has been taken to start serial production of the weapon, and he said that Russian security will be ensured. It's an attempt, I think, a clear attempt to reinforce last night's threat he made that Moscow now has a right to target those countries, i.e. Britain and America, which have allowed Ukraine to fire their missiles, their long-range missiles on Russian soil. And earlier, of course, the Kremlin also doubled down on these threats, saying that Russia will react to what it called the West's reckless actions, and that contours of further retaliatory actions were clearly outlined. Now, this is all a reaction, of course, to what Stuart was talking about, this permission granted to Ukraine to fire the Storm Shadow missiles from Britain, the ATACMS from the US on Russian soil, deep inside Russian soil, and we've seen that for the first time this week, now confirmed by Kyiv. According to Moscow, that amounts to these countries' direct involvement in the conflict. That will be disputed by the West. We heard as much from Keir Starmer today, but that's the reasoning given by Moscow as it continues to try to reinforce this idea that it puts across here to the public that Moscow is the one who's the innocent party, that they are the ones under attack. How seriously should Britain and America take this threat? Well, it is a new threat from Vladimir Putin, and it was reinforced by the use of this new hypersonic missile, an attempt, I think, to find a new way to articulate Russia's threats, to make them more meaningful, to make them more menacing, because this new missile, although it wasn't used with a nuclear payload yesterday, it is capable of carrying multiple nuclear warheads. Will it have the desired effect? Will the West back down? I don't think so, because despite all this posturing, the thinking is that Russia has too much to lose here. In a direct conflict with NATO, they will be outgunned, of course, and right now they have too much to lose with the new Trump administration. They have too much to lose with prospective peace talks through which they stand to gain. For example, in any kind of peace settlement, it would be highly beneficial to Moscow. That's the thinking. Having said that, of course, Russia is a country full of surprises, with a leader who likes to defy expectations.